It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's the Glute guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Glute Guys Network. I'm Dr. Aaron.
And I'm Dr. Tom.
And today we have another video that we're going to react to by Jared Ethier. It's perfect posture routine to unlock your poop. It's another word, but we don't curse on this channel.
No, we're not one of those channels. We like to stay within YouTube's limits, so maybe they'll share more of our videos.
So, what's
We
that?
see a lot of these posture fix videos on YouTube, and Dr. Aaron and I like to kind of go through and see what these guys are offering to see if, is it something that's good? Is it something that's bad? Do we agree? Do we agree kind of? And we'll give our reactions to it and maybe add a little tips in there too.
Will Jared Ethier be a quack? We will find out.
Quack or not, did we just start a new series?
Quacker, yeah. We'll figure out the name, everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll come up with a good
Quack or whack? All right.
quack or
Let's get right into this. Actually, I like
Forward
that.
head, rounded shoulders, and a Donald Duck butt. Look familiar? Honestly, you don't realize how bad your posture has become until someone snaps a pic of you. Don't worry.
Did that guy just fake his posture?
Yes.
Use my new and improved 5-minute posture routine, and I guarantee you'll fix this in no time. Let's talk about how you got here in the first place.
Oh, I was going to say... we'll let him talk a little bit more. I was going to go into a little bit of posture, but I think we could wait to hear what he has to say.
So studies have revealed that most people sit on average for at least 6 to 8 hours a day. And when they do, they're sitting like this. But don't feel the need to straighten up just because I said that. This slouching position isn't necessarily bad. Some studies suggest it might even help you focus more. In fact, I'm slouching right now as I write the script for this video.
He's not actually typing there.
The problem is, most people stay locked in this hunched over posture for hours on end every single day. And your body is an adaptation machine. Over time, it'll tighten up certain muscles and weaken others in order to become more efficient at keeping this hunched over posture. There's 5 simple yet extremely effective exercises we'll use to reverse this, starting with the upper body. The first
Okay. He said a lot. Any thoughts so far, sir?
So far, he's not wrong. Staying in these postures for a certain period of time can definitely cause them to tighten up in a way, or your body will kind of, get used to that. It can also cause other muscles to get weak. So far, I'm pretty happy with what Jeremy's throwing out here. I think overall, it's the what he's talking about makes sense. You stay in these postures for a prolonged period of time. It's the same thing I tell my patients. Stay in them for too long, you're going to end up feeling pain and stress. And it's because we type all day. Very common things that I tell my patients. So far, I like it. The 5 exercises, he flashed up there for a second. I might have a bone to pick with 1 or 2 of them, but we'll see what he does.
One thing that I got from Dr. Anthony Falco, who we had on a few weeks ago, is the best posture is your next posture. So what really matters when it comes down to it is that you're moving around. You're not just sitting in one posture all day long. What we learned in PT school is a long time in a bad position usually can have bad problems. So Instead of sitting like that, maybe straighten up, maybe stretch your back out, maybe stand up and sit down. If you can get a standing desk, that's always a good thing. Like, just keep your body moving. Maybe even do, maybe this guy's exercise program is good. Maybe you can just walk into the kitchen, get a cup of water or something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, move around a little more, and that can help too. But also, like this 10-minute a day exercise, if we agree with the exercises, even if you split that up, like you just get up and you do one of those exercises, and then you go back and you do another one, and by the end of the day, you've done all 5. You moved all day, and you might feel better. Another way to think of it. Let's roll and see what he says.
First exercise will help open up your tight chest and shoulder muscles. I'll show you how to make this work with a towel, blanket, or broomstick, but I'd highly suggest that you use a band, and I'll leave a link in the description box to the one I'm using. Start with your hands inside the band with
Quick plug.
your palms facing away from the sides of your thighs. But if you're using a towel or broomstick,
like it.
grab it with a very wide overhand grip in front of your thighs. Keep your arms straight and move your arms in a circle up and behind your body. Let your shoulder blades and traps shrug up slightly on the way up, and then let your shoulder blades come down and back as your arms travel behind your body.
What just happened? All right, we're getting an ad. While we're getting an ad,
We'll talk.
let's talk.
So far, I think that overall it's a pretty good exercise. Again, if you're someone who has that full range and mobility, if you're somebody who doesn't have necessarily shoulder injuries, we're talking somebody who is generally healthy overall, it's a really good exercise to actually to do. It helps open up all like the blades, getting them moving a little bit. He's retracting the scapulas as we're pulling them back, which is going to help open the chest up. He's not wrong. It is a good one. Would it be my first go-to one? No, I would say easier one. Grab a doorway, put your hands at like a medium height, take a step through. It's going to do a similar end motion that he's describing, but overall you're going to have less of that overhead motion. So if you have trouble with the overhead motion, I'd say another safe bet would be a good old doorway stretch.
So what I don't like about this is actually the initial rotation, or I guess it's more out here.
Yeah.
So if we think about the shoulder joint and we look at just specifically my hand, when my thumb is up and when my thumb is out, I'm more externally rotated. When my thumb is down, sorry camera, I'm more internally rotated. Usually when we do shoulder flexion, you don't necessarily want to do shoulder internal rotation because of a thing called Cadman's paradox, which is basically saying that one of your bones in your shoulder is going to hit another one, and it's not really as smooth as a range of motion. So I would recommend, instead of doing that with your thumb down, I'd probably do thumbs up, have a little bit more external rotation, and it might help you through the range of motion a little bit more comfortably. Thoughts, Dr. Tom?
Yeah, no, you're definitely right there. I brain farted and missed that internal rotation for a moment. It's been an 11-hour workday, so forgive me. But yeah, that is true too. And also now just doing that motion, I did it originally externally rotated. Internally rotated, it's definitely tighter and doesn't feel comfortable. So if you don't have the healthiest of shoulder joints, if you played rugby, it can also pose some problems too. My left one definitely got a little crunchy when it was internally rotated. So yeah, safer way to do it, go external rotation instead. It's going to be a little bit more comfortable.
Let's continue. Oh, let me turn the sound back on. And let me turn the video back on. That would be great, wouldn't it?
In it by pulling it apart during the spots where you're tightest. But if you're really tight, your body will try to cheat by arching the lower back. Prevent this by keeping your core engaged. You may also notice some clicking in your shoulder or that you can't keep one of your arms full.
So, we'll go right to the arching your lower back. I'm actually fine with arching the lower back. If anything, that's extending your back, which might be okay. We want range of motion. We want to work in other range of motions if we're trying to reverse posture. So I don't think that's the end of the world. I see why he would tell you to keep your back straight, because we do want to keep your core strong, but our body shouldn't be afraid to move, especially something like this is supposed to be a mobility routine.
Yes. I see why he's saying that. I see why, because thinking about when we're exercising in the gym, when we're performing an exercise, we always want good form. Of course, maintaining core stability and appropriate lumbar positioning during exercise is very important. Like Dr. Aaron said, it might add a little stretch to the lower back as you're going like that too. You might, especially as we're going into some of these motions, it might help to stretch some of the other muscles of the lower back out a little bit. Ideally, do we keep the core engaged? Yeah, you don't want to just throw yourself, like he said, into the Donald Duck lordosis, but you also shouldn't be afraid if it moves a little bit. If you don't have the ability to get there without going into a little bit of that lordosis, that curvature they were talking about, it's not going to be detrimental. It's not going to hurt anything. You're still moving.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that he was about to mention, we paused it, but he's about to mention the shoulder range of motion if you have difficulty with certain ranges. And I'm really hoping when we start to play it again that he says that it's okay. Because that's the whole purpose of this exercise, is to start introducing mobility. So let's see where he goes with it.
Straight. That's completely normal and it will improve over time. But once your initial grip gets too easy, you can deepen the stretch by looping the band around your palms to shorten it, or take a narrower grip if you're using a stick or towel. As for how many sets and reps to do, at the end of this video, I'll show you the full routine written out. For now, just focus on the form for each exercise. Next, before we get to strength...
Aaron, real quick. The one thing, changing that positioning going in and then trying to go all the way behind, it's going to maybe add a little bit more of a stretch. It can also add a lot more strain onto your shoulders. The shoulder joint, and Aaron, you can tell me if your opinion differs, is one of those joint structures that relies heavily on muscle tension and not bone structure so much to secure it. So you want to also be careful with how much you are stretching it before, we kind of overstretch it and now we got a little bit of an unstable shoulder. Again, that happens repetitively over time, but if this is going to be your daily routine for 10 minutes, just, if you're feeling a good stretch, don't try to push it so much.
Let's continue. I agree.
Strengthening your weakened upper body muscles, we need to unlock your tight mid and upper back. Start on all fours with your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. To make the stretch more effective, place a foam roller, ball, or folded up pillow between your legs and squeeze it together. Engage your core to straighten your back and push the floor away to straighten your arms. Then take a big exhale as you reach your left arm under and across your body as far as you can. You can allow your right arm to bend slightly as you do this. You should feel a deep stretch in your mid and upper back and maybe even your lats. From here, bring your left hand back behind your neck, push the floor away with your right hand, and follow your elbow with your eyes as you rotate it up towards the ceiling only as far as you can. You should feel some of your mid and upper back muscles working as you do this. Hold the top briefly, then come back down and try to reach a bit further than last time. Once you do both sides, you may notice that one feels a lot tighter than the other. That's perfectly normal. Just do this consistently and it'll help correct that imbalance over time. So the first two exercises will...
Okay. Thoughts?
I don't hate it. It's an exercise that I actually will give patients of mine as well. Very common, good for the thoracic mobility, good for early lumbar mobility as well. Stretching out the muscles that he's talking about. Yes, the lat, yes, the rhomboids, yes, the trap. I'm a fan of it. It's also getting some rib mobility back in there for you. So it's going to definitely help open up some of these larger muscles and get better postural position. The ball between adds a little extra stability. I see why he's doing it. Not 100% necessary, but if you're kind of unstable on your all fours, then add it in there. Doesn't hurt. I'm a fan. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly don't have too much to say. It's a good mobility exercise. Like, I always think of geriatrics with a lot of these things, and both of these exercises I probably wouldn't give my patients in geriatrics just because of like a lot of times with geriatrics that like full range of motion with the shoulder can be pretty tough and painful. I still might do it, but maybe I wouldn't do it with the band, or like you don't necessarily need a towel. You could do it with a towel, I guess. This one, like most time geriatrics, you're not gonna be able to get into this position. So I probably wouldn't do it for that reason.
Also, I feel like there's other exercises that'll be a little easier for geriatrics. Book openers is a very common one. You can Google a picture of it if you feel like it's safe for you, but it's one that you can literally do laying in bed, and you lay on your side, bend your knees up, and you do a very similar motion that's rotating backwards. You can Google that one if you feel like it's safe for you. Again, I'm not prescribing or offering exercises. I'm just saying there are easier ones that we can also do. Take a look. Honestly, it's a good one.
That was actually something I was going to say about this too, is that that's an exercise that's like easy to progress and regress based on different levels. So yeah, it's not a bad exercise. I think it's a good exercise, but you just always have to be cautious if it's right for you.
Exactly.
All right, I'm just trying to skip through. Oh,
Hi,
another video.
I'm Brett.
Let me
And I'm
mute that. Okay.
We'll continue to talk. Yeah, the nice part about exercises is you can. Oh.
We're back.
Pull you upright. Lay on your stomach with your forehead on the floor or held just above it and hands behind your head. Pull your elbows back. Imagine squeezing your shoulder blades together. Once you've gone as far as you can, extend your arms straight out to make a capital Y shape with your palms facing the floor. Keep your arms straight and held as high as you can above the floor and begin to slowly move them in a big circle around your body. You should feel your mid-back and shoulder muscles working as you do this. As your arms come below a T shape, start to internally rotate your arms so that your palms now face the ceiling. Once your hands are close to your legs, bend your elbows and place the back of your hands on your low back. Lean one hand on top of the other. Then reverse the circle by extending your arms and slowly move them back into the Y shape and then to the starting position with your hands on the back of your head. I'll be honest, this is quite a difficult exercise, so if you're having troubles with it, for now, try this. Just keep your arms in that T shape with your thumbs facing up and use your mid-back muscles to raise your arms as high as possible. Hold that top
Well, I was going to say, let's continue.
position for a few seconds while squeezing your shoulder blades together and do about 5 to 10 reps of this until you build the strength to do the full exercise. Okay, so before we move on to the lower body, it's important you don't just
Okay. What I was going to say is I do, like you said, that full circle is very tough to do for majority of people, honestly. I do like the tees that he was doing. What you could also do is like how he started with his arms in the Y position. You can do those to work your lower traps a little bit more as well. You could even do like a field goal type thing. Try to get a little bit more range of motion with the shoulders, with the middle back as well. So thoughts, sir?
Yeah, overall, I think a fantastic exercise, great mobility, great shoulder mobility, great upper back mobility, scapular mobility. It hits everything. But I will say that this is one of the, at least from a physical therapy standpoint, this is one of those exercises where you initially give it to a patient, or, you know, in his case, a client, and they will do it wrong 99% of the time because they don't have mobility. So that was an advanced one. He said, he goes, this is very hard. It is very hard to do because it's a lot of coordination. He's also in a prone position, so it's fighting some gravity. But overall, if you do it and you do it well, it's a great exercise and it's great for posture. I would recommend difficult exercise for you to do. Stand up. Do it where it's not so much against gravity. The only part that you're raising now is above the head. You could do the same exact motions. You can get into a T position. We can now retract this way in a standing position. It's going to be a little easier, and it's going to allow you to kind of focus a little bit more on the coordination aspect of it. It's going to allow you to also get an idea of what the mobility feels like. You can watch his video as he does it and make sure you're copying it instead of looking at the ground, and then progress yourself to laying down.
Also, even easier than that is instead of being on your stomach, being on your back.
Yeah.
So that way, yeah. You don't even have to go up against gravity to lift your arms. You can sort of let it float along the bed, maybe. If you don't have the range of motion, it can be a little bit higher up as well.
Yeah. And even laying on your back, you can still push into the ground and get some isometric contraction as well. I'm pushing the chair, it's still moving backwards. But isometric is basically just meaning you contract the muscles without the actual motion happening. So still also a very good way to start to prime the muscles. And when you get better, then you stand up. And when you get even better, you lay prone on your stomach, like Jeremy did here, if that's safe for you.
And then Tommy flew away after doing those beautiful tees.
Do this 5-minute routine and go right back to sitting in your chair for the rest of the day. This routine will work wonders if you do it consistently, but to fix your posture for good and honestly just feel better day to day, you need to make an effort to move more. Break up your sitting with standing, go for more walks, or check out some of my workout videos to get you in the gym. In fact, studies have shown lifting weights can improve flexibility just as much as stretching does. And for a science-based program that shows you exactly how to work out week after week to transform your body while improving your posture, mobility, and overall health,
we're skipping this. We don't
get to that. These often become weak in those who sit for most of the day.
Say that again, sir?
No, I said check out Jeremy's stuff, builtwithscience.com. So far I like him, so this is okay. But let's keep rolling.
Oh. Let's see when we get to this exercise. Oh, looks like we're about to start.
Suggest that if this muscle is tight, it can inhibit glutes activation. Start on all fours and set your right knee close to a wall or an elevated piece of furniture like a bench, couch, or chair. Use your hands to help put your back foot up on the wall or bench.
I don't
The
like it.
closer your knee is to the wall or bench, the more stretch you'll create in your quads. So if you're pretty tight, then just start out with your knee further away. Once you've set your back foot, step your other foot forward so your shin is vertical and straighten your hips in front of you. Then use your hands to help you get into the half kneeling position. From here, brace your core and level your hips as if it was a bowl of water and you were preventing the water from spilling forward.
Thoughts, sir?
I love it. It's a great exercise. Again, it's the advanced version of it. So this is definitely geared towards, people who are maybe a little bit more active. Maybe people who go to the gym. This exercise can be difficult for somebody who has trouble moving around. So instead of propping your foot up on a bench, you can even just go into a lunge position and then he's going to show in a second, but the shift forward to help stretch out that tiny muscle he's talking about. The muscle he's talking about is 2 and 1, really a psoas. They're going to be right in the front, hip flexors as he's stretching, and he's not wrong. It will inhibit glute activity, and it's something that I'm dealing with constantly with clinic.
Yeah. So I don't like it only because of that. It's just too advanced. I think most people, a majority of people, can keep that foot flat on the floor and probably still get a good stretch if you lunge into it. Again, my population, this wouldn't work. No one's going to be able to do that much of a stretch. You could do something even as simple as let your leg come off the edge of the bed and let it dangle down, pull your foot back, depending on how tight your hip flexors are. It's not a bad exercise. Any moving is usually good moving. It's just not necessarily the best for a lot of people, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is one it's more advanced. This is once the lunge stretch gets to be more so, easier for you to do, prop it up. But even so, with that leg being propped up, he's also just more so stretching another muscle called rec fem, which is one of your quad muscles. It's the only quad muscle that crosses the front of the hip. Typically, is it a tight muscle? A little bit, but it's more going to be like that psoas, and you can stretch that muscle without having to pop your leg up like that.
Yeah, like you said, he's doing more of a quad stretch than he actually is. I mean, he's still going to stretch the hip flexors, but you're going to be limited by quads a lot more so most of the time. And also, last thing, this guy needs to clean that spot on his shoe. Look at this. Oh, wait, wrong way. Look at this.
Dog before this and stepped in that last word that's on the video, on his video, that I can't say.
Duty. Let's continue.
At this point, you should already feel a deep stretch in the quads and hip flexor of the back leg. The intensity of the stretch should ideally feel like a 4 or 5 out of 10. So to lessen the stretch, lean forward, whereas to deepen it, push your butt back towards your back foot. Just make sure that you don't arch.
Wait, that was just wrong. Do you want me to replay that? Let's replay that.
He said the stretch to lean forward, correct?
Oh, let's listen.
Ideally feel like a 4 or 5 out of 10. So to lessen the stretch, lean forward, whereas to deepen it, push your butt back towards your back foot.
Okay, so he's definitely doing this stretch wrong. Or he's thinking of it wrong. So the hip flexor is a 1 joint muscle. The quadricep is a 2 joint muscle. When you lean forward or bring your hips forward, you're going to take stress off the quads, but you will probably put more stretch on the hip flexors because your hip is going to extend more when you do that. When you bring your hips back, you're also going to be flexing at your hip, which puts slack on the quads and it puts slack on your hip flexors. So going back really won't do much. It might actually stretch the knee part of your quads, but it's not going to stretch the hip anymore.
Yeah, I think he's looking at this more as a quad stretch than anything. He doesn't really still going to get stretched in that. And also, I do want to correct. He said to lessen the stretch, to lean forward. He lunged more forward, which will stretch that muscle more. He wasn't wrong in the sense where if he literally just takes his body and leans forward, it stops stretching those muscles. So if he did what he said, it would be kind of right.
Yeah, I don't like his explanation on this. I personally am not a fan of the exercise only because I think it's too much for a lot of people. and they could end up hurting themselves.
Just do a lunge.
Yeah, just do a lunge when it comes down to it. All you need to do is lunge. Do all the cues he said, just lunge. Honestly.
One other thing too, I just want to add in really quick. Also, a lot of things like people forget. Put a pillow down underneath your knee when you're doing this one. Your knees will thank you later.
I will say he does have a pillow there. But
oh yes, he didn't.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Continue.
Just make sure that you don't arch your lower back as you do so. Now you're ready to strengthen the glutes. The exercise we'll use is simple, but to maximize activation, it's important you do it right. Lay on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Angle your elbows away from you and push them down into the ground. Engage your core to flatten your lower back against the floor. Without arching your back, squeeze your butt muscles hard and then lift your hips up while keeping your glutes contracted. At the top, avoid arching your lower back. Instead, keep your core engaged and tilt your hips back by squeezing your glutes hard as if you had a $100 bill between them and you were trying to prevent it from falling out. Hold this for 5 seconds before coming down.
I'm going to just say one thing. I don't know about you, sir, but I've never tried to squeeze a $100 bill between my glutes. You could even try like you're holding a poop, like something that people have all done pretty often. When you hold a poop, you squeeze.
I will say I have used that description of squeezing a dollar bill before, just because it usually gets the patients to laugh when you say that.
That's true. That's true.
So I do like the PT in me liked that he said that.
All right. I just think like we want people to hear things that they'll understand. I guess you will understand that. I just know like school, like you're taking a poop. You want to squeeze, or you don't want to let it out. You have diarrhea. You squeeze the butt. Keep it simple. Then again, Dr. Tom has a soul and he's funny, so. No, I'm just kidding. Let's continue. Yep.
For another rep.
We are the
Now,
glute guys.
if you feel this more in your quads rather than your glutes, try walking your feet out further away from you. Whereas if you feel this more in your hamstrings, move your feet a bit closer in. And over time, to make this move more difficult and to help correct any strength imbalances you might have in your glutes, you can progress to working one leg at a time. Here is the full 5-minute routine. You can also download this routine on.
Okay. Let me go back to the both of us. All right, final thoughts, sir.
So to just first real quick touch on the bridges. Yeah, awesome. Easy way to engage the glutes. Easy way to strengthen them up. Easy way to get them going. Easy way to get blood flow going to them. Glute guy approved exercise. Great for the glutes. Overall, the exercises are good. I don't hate them. I just think that they were a little bit more advanced for your typical person who's most likely dealing with some postural related issues. I think that the lunge one, like Aaron and I had discussed, there's a way to make that easier. We did discuss the other one with the circles. Overall, I wouldn't say that this was a bad routine at all if you can do them safely and appropriately. So, but there's always ways to make things easier and harder. So just you can do them.
Yeah, so I sort of said a bunch of negative stuff. I don't necessarily think it's a bad routine. Like Dr. Tom said, it has to be right for you. I wouldn't use it for like if you're older. Maybe if you're like a beginner, you haven't done any exercise before, and you're just trying to get used to this stuff. Like some of them are a little bit more advanced, or like you have to get into deeper positions that if you have tight whatever, they're probably not going to feel very good, and you could hurt yourself if you don't do these things properly. I think I don't know if I said it, but Dr. Tom was saying it before, sort of in different words, but the more complex something is, the harder it is to replicate it. So there is a lot going on in a lot of these. So it's something that you have to make sure you're actually doing it properly, how you're supposed to, instead of just going all willy-nilly. When it comes down to it, moving is good. So if you don't do it perfect, it might still help, but there's a whole lot of factors that you have to think about before you're just like, oh yeah, this will be perfect for my posture.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm going to throw a new tidbit in there. Aaron, would you say that this exercise routine is or is not glute guy approved?
I'm going to say it is not. What do you think?
Because we had to make so many edits to it, I was borderline wanting to say it is glute guy approved, but it's because of the regressions that we put into it that would make it approved for me. But I think they are a little bit too difficult, so I would also agree that it is not glute guy approved for your everyday average.
Honestly, if he just said something like this is the specific population who should do this, I would probably be like, yeah, it's good. But if he was like, oh, this is for beginners, I'd say no. If he's like, oh, for older adults, I would say no, which obviously he's not tailored towards older adults. That's just where my brain goes to. But if he was like, oh, if you've been in the gym for a while, you go to work, you find yourself getting stiff, you want to do stuff like that, then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. That's a good thing to do. People who have more awareness, or like you're an athlete in sports, you know how to move your body. I think that would be good for that person too. I don't think that this guy is someone who I'm like, oh, he doesn't know anything about anything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It is evident that he has some good cues. He does know exercises and stuff like that. But I just think he's missing a few things, especially if he's built with science.
Yeah, I think that he is adding the kinesiology part into all of it, but I think that he's just missing the average population. This is definitely just someone that's just a little bit more advanced, which again isn't bad. It's awesome. It serves a population. I do like what Jeremy is kind of saying, what he's coming up with. I think that it's great content overall. I just think that it's geared to a specific athletic, more active related group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's worth it to maybe watch some of his videos, but take them with a grain of salt. Don't be like, oh yeah, this is going to be amazing. It's going to cure everything for me.
Yeah, when it comes down to watch videos and make sure that you can also perform these exercises safely. If something looks like it's, that looks kind of odd and weird, it most likely is, and you should probably stay away from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no reason to hurt yourself just because some guy on YouTube said that this exercise is going to be perfect for you. But
exactly.
I think with that, we could probably wrap it up for the day.
I think so.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let us know what you think. And I think we're going to have to call this one whack.
Whack.
Oh, the thumbs down. All right. Good night, everybody.